I want it to be summer again. Welcome to the past. I'm here to show you the books that we're reading for the next week. I've got 4 books to take with me to bring back summer because it's raining. It's already been raining today. It's kind of sunny now, but the next 4 days are going to be swimming, sports, walks, fun, food, family, and I think that's the perfect time to bring summer back. We've got 3, I think they're all romance books. There's one that I'm not quite sure about. I'm going to start with the mystery book. I think I'm going to read this last, and it's This Summer's Secrets by Emily Barr. I've read some of the books by this author. That's cool. Cliff House is closed off for most of the year, only coming to life when its rich owners arrive for the holidays. This year, despite herself, Sinara is pulled into their world of wealth and ease and beautiful people. She even finds herself falling for somebody for the first time. But Cliff House and its owners are hiding things. They've been hiding things for too long, and now, in spite of all their efforts, the secrets are coming out. Secrets that involve Sinara's family and friends in a way she could have never imagined. We've got Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I've actually not read any books by Ali Hazelwood. When I first got this, I didn't look at the back. I just saw summer and I was like, okay. Maya Kilgore is 23 and still in the process of figuring out her life. Connor Harkness is 38 and Maya can't stop thinking about him. It's such a cliche, it almost makes her heart implode. Older man and younger woman, successful biotech guy and struggling grad student. Brother's best friend. How old is her brother? My issue with bigger age gaps is how they meet. Brother's best friend is kind of odd, because if he's 38. And then we've got Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I used to love Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I've only read 2 of her books. I've read Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. August 1983. It's the day of Nina Reaver's annual end of summer party. Oh, end of summer. Everyone who is anyone wants to be around the Reavers. Surfer and supermodel Nina, brothers Jay and Hood, and their baby sister Kit. Together the siblings are the source of fascination in Malibu and the world over, especially as the children of their legendary singer Mick Reaver. By midnight, it's another mystery book. Okay, this is perfect. And then the last book, I've read one book by this author before, but she is such like a prominent romance author, which I think it's mental that I've only read one book. I think I read Beach Read. This is Funny Story by Emily Henry. You see, I really like cartoon covers. There's just one issue with this one, and it's right there, so I'm just gonna blank that out. Daphne always loved the way Peter told their story. That is until it became the prologue to its actual story. I already like the writing. Love story with his childhood bestie Petra, which is how Daphne ends up rooming with her total opposite and the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. As expected, it's not a match made in heaven. That is until one night, while tossing back tequilas, they form a plan. And if it involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their adventures together, well, who could blame them? It's all just for show, of course. There's no way Daphne would start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. Right? I will take you back to the future. Future me? Get going. If you haven't already guessed, this video is a little bit different to the others because I've already read the books. Basically, for the last what was intended to be a week and ended up being about 4, I only read summery books. It's not really summer anymore. It's October. I did start this in September. Okay. The first book I read, Funny Story by Emily Henry. Can I just say, I am in love with her writing. Like, genuinely, the way she writes. Let me find some quotes. The way it was structured at the beginning, some of the chapters, it's basically like a countdown, but the meaning of the countdown like changes as the character's opinion changes, and it's so cool. Some people are natural storytellers. They know how to set the scene, find the right angle, when to pause for dramatic effects, or breeze past inconvenient details. I wouldn't have become a librarian if I didn't love stories, but I've never been great at telling my own. If I had a penny for every time I interrupted my own anecdote to debate whether this had actually happened on a Tuesday, or if it had in fact been a Thursday, then I would have at least 40 cents. And that's way too big a chunk of my life wasted for way too small of a payout. Peter, on the other hand, would have 0 cents and a rapt audience. If I can ever do anything remotely similar to that, I will have lived a good life. I really, really do like it. I've read Beach Read, I think, before, and People We Meet on Vacation, which is another one of her books, is being turned into a film this year. It's coming out in January, I think, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The way the characters meet is really cool. They're basically roommates whose exes are together, if that makes sense. I want someone to write a book where it's the ex of someone, but you can kind of see that the ex is still a good person. Even like the character doesn't fall back in love with them. They're falling in love with someone else, but the ex is actually like a nice person. Because I feel like a lot of romance books, the ex is like they're like a horrible person, they're like an issue to move past. I want one where it's like they kind of like grow apart, and the lesson on love is like, oh, not everything works out, if you know what I mean. Like just because you're in love like at one point doesn't mean you can't then become friends and still move on. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the summery vibes like re-injecting themselves. Like what's happening? It's summer again. Should I turn the ring light on? Should I take this that far? It's summer. This is crazy. This is just hold on. Hold the what is happening? Oh my god. Okay, summer. Okay. Didn't know you were working your way back in like that, but okay. Funny story. The summer vibes off the charts. I'm gonna say this is a 5 out of 5 on the heat scale, on the summer scale. If you're looking for like a summery read that's like honestly so easy to read, so easily digestible. I read this in 2 days, I think. Romance books are so pivotal because of the way they teach us about ourselves and like the darker parts of ourselves and how we can like grow past the things that scare us. And in this one, from what I remember, the main character Daphne is obviously getting over the fact of her ex being a total douchebag, to put it lightly. He's an asshole. And she's kind of realizing that for the past however long they've been together, she's based her entire like personality, her friends, her life, she's based her being around this man. And because she wants to be the person for him, because she thought, oh, like I said in the beginning, she isn't very good at telling stories and he was great at it. So she follows his story and she follows all the things that he set out for her. And then she kind of sees like, oh, that's not what I want. Book number 2 was Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I rated this 3 stars. I think the romance was great. I think it was cute. The setting was beautiful. It's set in Sicily, I think. I don't know, I'm gonna butcher the I think it says a romantic Sicilian village, so it's set in Sicily, so Italy. It's the main character Maya's brother's wedding. The reason this wasn't, to be honest, thinking about it, I'd probably say 2.5. I had a few issues with this book. The number one thing, spice. Again, I should have done my research for this one, because I kind of knew Ali Hazelwood wrote like quite a lot of spice into her writing. I didn't realise how much. And I was reading this on holiday in the living room, and I turned the page. I'm like, So I keep turning, and I'm still just like, and I like had to look up when the chapters were so I could know when to read it and just when to skip. The main issue I had was the age gap. Age gaps are fine. Age gaps, you do what you want to do in your relationships. I don't think an age gap matters that much. Like, in this, it's 15 years. Fine. Date who you want to, as long as you're both comfortable in that relationship, as long as it's legal, as long as you're both mature enough to understand the, like, implications, I guess. But that doesn't mean it has to be mentioned on every other page. You do what you want in your life. I'll do what if I end up dating a man that's 10 years older than me, fine, great. I'm dating the person because of the person, not because that, like, the fact that they're older. Of course it matters. The thing is, obviously it's a very crucial part of the storyline, the fact that he is older, that is important. But that doesn't mean you have to make jokes about the fact that he's old. Like, she called him, like, grandpa, she called him, like, they literally talk about how weird it would be for them to be seen together because he's older. The thing that I think worked, his main character point is his dad, and his dad was a very, like, controlling man, and he used the fact that he was older to kind of emphasize his power, if you know what I mean. And so Connor is scared of turning into that, and he's scared of this relationship because he knows he's so much older. That is where I feel like the trope works. Where the trope doesn't work is the constant jokes of, grandpa, that's weird, why are you relating him to your family members? That means that you're attracted to your grandfather. Don't reference it every other page, because the readers probably realise that one character is older than the other. On the heat scale, that's probably the wrong word for it in terms of this book. On the summer vibe scale, the summer heat scale, 4 stars. Not quite sunglasses, it's not quite steaming hot. Could have been a bit better. But the setting was on point. Setting was like, okay, I need to go to Italy. Malibu Rising. This, I think I gave it 4.5 stars. The only reason, there is like genuinely nothing wrong with this book, it just took me a very long time to get through, but that was because I started reading it, then we got home from the holiday, then I got sick, then I started uni. Taylor Jenkins Reid just has a way of writing that just, it lights a fire within me. Just like this book is about. The sparks fly. That was a Taylor Swift reference. It skips between timelines. It skips between point of views in the middle of chapters. It doesn't really like properly centre on one character. It centres on actually quite a few. There's like the main 4. There's the main family, but then it kind of coasts through a couple of the others. But the way it's written is so like simplistic that it's just incredible. Mick Reaver's shadow excelled at haunting each one of his children. Like, what do you mean? That is such a simple thing to say, but I would have never thought of it. The setting of this, very beautiful. If you couldn't tell from the title, it's set in Malibu in the 1980s, 1983. And it's like summer party. It all takes place on one night. That's important. It all takes place on one night, but you kind of skip time frames as well. Sorry, one day. And there's 2 parts of it. It's just so cool. I'm actually like obsessed. The way that it's written is just like, I wish I could live in one of her books, but then at the same time I really don't, because they really do discuss like the darker parts of Hollywood. The other thing that was really cool was it discusses a lot about her other books. Like there was mention of one of the characters from, I think it's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And then there's also Carrie Soto, who I'm assuming is the same character as the main character in Carrie Soto is Back, and she plays quite a pivotal role. I'm not going to say what that role is. I don't know if there's an order you're supposed to read the books in, so you can like really understand all the references. The heat scale I'd say was about 4, so no, that's what I said for the last book. It was a 5. It was a 5 because they talked a lot. There was a lot of like surfing, that sort of love. I really want to go like surfing. I want to know how to paddleboard. This summer secrets. I'm gonna just start off by doing something. Ignore the inability to put on a cardigan. The issue is I finished it about 5 minutes ago, but I feel like it didn't really have summer vibes I was going for. So I think I'd say like 3 stars. I don't know. I feel like I was a bit confused at the beginning. It was one of the mystery books where you're kind of like thrust into it at the beginning and then you kind of work out everything by the end. But I don't know, I just wasn't because of the way you were thrust in at the beginning, I wasn't really like connecting with the characters, and it just kind of made me want to stop reading. I'm more of a fan of mysteries where it's like a Good Girl's Guide to Murder, or like One of Us is Dead. Is that the first? Where someone dies and at the beginning of the book, and then you spend the rest of the book trying to work out what happened rather than trying to work out stuff from the past. Like I like The Naturals because you're kind of like going through the tension. It's not like the tension happened a long time ago. I also worked out what happened because I was just like thinking about it and I was like, oh, it's probably not what they're trying to point us to, it's probably this instead, and I worked out. And I feel like that takes away from a lot of the fun of mysteries, because like the whole point is you don't know the answer until the end, and then when you do figure out the answer, it's kind of like, oh, is there no more to this? It just wasn't my type of mystery book. The heat scale, it's not hot. Those were the 4 summer books I read, and unfortunately we are kind of now in winter, or like autumn, not winter. We're now in autumn and summer's gone. But you know what? That doesn't matter because you can read summer books all year round and it's fine. But I hope you had a lovely time just chatting. I like doing these ones, but I feel like I find it harder because I'm not like tracking what I'm doing as I'm going. But yeah, I hope you guys had a lovely day. I hope you're having a lovely day, whatever time of day it is. And I will see you next week for another little challenge that we can do. Toodles.